There are games that challenge the unknown, rituals so dangerous that, as the legend goes, even God forbade them. These are not mere pastimes. They are traps, capable of opening doors to horrors that can never be shut. Today, you will discover 10 terrifying legends, each more dangerous than the last. We'll start with the least risky, but beware. The final game should never be attempted, not even by those who don't believe in God. Are you ready? Let's begin. The visitor at the window. It is said that on the stillest nights, when the wind barely stirs and the moon is hidden behind clouds, there is a ritual that invites the unknown. Known as the visitor at the window, this simple yet perilous practice promises to connect the player with something beyond this world. Those who have tried describe an overwhelming sensation of presence, as though someone is watching them in the dead of night. To begin, the player must choose a moonless night when the darkness is nearly absolute. A window in the room should be left open, and a chair placed directly in front of it. On the windowsill, light a solitary candle and sit down, your eyes fixed on the flame. The clock must strike precisely 3:33 a.m. This is the moment when the visitor may appear. It is said that if everything is done correctly, a figure will slowly begin to form outside the window. The descriptions vary, but all agree on one thing. The figure is not human. Some describe it as a tall, misshapen shadow with unsettling movements, while others report glowing eyes watching them from the darkness. Under no circumstances should you look away from the candle or move from the chair. If the flame extinguishes or your concentration falters, the visitor may cross the window and enter the house. Once inside, it will never leave. The ritual must end when the clock strikes 3:45. You must extinguish the candle and close the window immediately without looking outside. They say that after this time, the visitor loses interest and vanishes into the darkness. However, for those who fail to follow the rules, the consequence is terrifying. Once inside, the visitor makes no noise, but its presence can always be felt. A heaviness in the air, a distant sound, or even the shadow of something that should not be there. The boldest among us say that attempting the ritual is a test of courage, while others insist it is an eternal curse. The visitor at the window remains a chilling legend, passed down from person to person, always accompanied by a warning. If you are not prepared to face the unknown, never leave your window open. And so the ritual of the visitor at the window comes to an end, but not without leaving its mark. The feeling of being watched may linger, like an invisible weight following you even after dawn. But if you think this is already terrifying, brace yourself. The next game goes beyond a window or the safety of your home. It delves deeper, into places that should remain forgotten. The box of forgetting. Some say that certain secrets and memories carry such a heavy burden that simply remembering them can destroy a person. This is the purpose of the ritual known as the box of forgetting. This game promises to erase from your mind what you can no longer bear to carry, but, like all dealings with the unknown, there is a price to pay. The ritual begins with an object representing what you wish to forget. A photograph, a piece of jewelry, or anything directly tied to the memory. This object must be placed inside a simple box, along with a piece of paper, on which you will write what you wish to forget. Once sealed, the box must be buried in a remote location, far from any prying eyes. This must be done before sunrise, and under no circumstances should you look back while returning. The legend says that if the ritual is successful, upon waking the next day you will feel an inexplicable lightness, as though the burden has disappeared. However, the rules are clear. The box must never be unearthed. Those who ignored this warning reported that the memories returned with even greater intensity, accompanied by visions of shadows watching them from afar, shadows that drew closer with each passing night. There is an even darker rumor. If someone else finds and opens your box, they will not only discover the secret you tried to bury, but also take a part of your essence with them. The affected person begins to feel their vitality drain, as though being slowly consumed until there is nothing left. The box of forgetting is not merely a ritual, it is a pact with oblivion, an attempt to escape what torments us. But beware, sometimes what we forget is precisely what holds our sanity together. And if you think leaving something behind is difficult, the next ritual may make you question whether it's possible to escape yourself. The midnight maze. Some nights are said to hold a silence so profound that it seems to herald something terrible. It is in this void that the midnight maze comes to life, A game that tests not only your courage, but also your ability to escape from something that should never be seen. Many have tried, few have succeeded, and those who survived rarely speak of what they encountered. To begin the ritual, the player must create a maze within their home. It doesn't need to be large, but must be confusing enough to delay anyone navigating it. Use ropes, furniture, or anything that can outline narrow pathways. At the center, place something of extreme sentimental value, an object you would never want to lose. When the clock strikes midnight, turn off all the lights and stand at the maze's entrance. Take a deep breath. From the moment you take your first step, you are inviting the unknown to join. The legend is clear. Once you enter, it will begin to follow you. Some call it the shadow, others refer to it as the hunter. What everyone agrees upon is that you cannot see it directly. You'll only know it's close by the sound of soft, muffled footsteps coming from where you just passed. Occasionally, if you listen carefully, you might hear a cold whisper, something that sounds like your own name. Never look back, never stop, and above all, never touch the walls of the maze. Touching the boundaries is said to be an invitation for the entity to stay with you forever. The goal is simple. Reach the center of the maze, retrieve your object, and find your way out before 3 a.m. But the game is never fair. As time passes, the maze seems to grow. Hallways that were once short now feel endless, and doors that were open mysteriously close on their own. Meanwhile, it draws closer. If the footsteps grow louder, or the whisper seems right next to your ear, you are in danger. Some have even reported feeling cold fingers brushing against the back of their neck, as though it is toying with their fear. Those who fail to escape before the time runs out are never seen again, but rumors persist about their fate. It is said they become trapped in a distorted version of their home, where the maze never ends, and the shadow never stops chasing. The few who have escaped describe a lingering terror, as if the game never truly ended. Echoes of footsteps in the dark, doors creaking without explanation, and the unshakable feeling of being watched from afar. And maybe, just maybe, it is waiting for the next opportunity to bring them back. If you believe you can survive, know that the next game won't allow any escape. It will confront you with something even more terrifying, yourself. The dance of echoes. There are places that should remain empty, places scarred by tragedy or abandonment, where time seems to stand still and the air feels heavy with memories. The dance of echoes is a ritual many consider a test of mental endurance, while others believe it to be a sentence for those bold enough to challenge the unknown. This game, performed in abandoned buildings, is not for the faint of heart. The preparation is simple but must be precise. Choose a forgotten building, preferably one with a history of deaths or unexplained accidents. Bring a device to play instrumental music, but not just any music. It must be dark and repetitive, as if it belonged to an ancient cult. At 2 a.m., enter the building. Ensure no one knows where you are. Find a large empty space like a corridor or a vacant room and begin playing the music. Stand in the center of the space and wait exactly 1 minute before starting to dance. The first few minutes will seem normal, but as you move, you'll notice the environment shifting around you. The natural silence of an empty building will be replaced by unmistakable sounds, steady footsteps behind you, doors creaking as if someone is opening and closing them, and dull thuds echoing through the halls. You'll want to stop to understand what's happening, but you mustn't. The rules of the game are clear. Keep dancing until the music ends. As time goes on, you'll begin to see shadows at the edges of your vision. They do not move like living things. Their motions are erratic, as if trying to mimic yours. Avoid looking directly at them, as this is where most fail. Those who have looked swear they saw faces they can never forget, distorted, ravenous, and fixated on them. If at any point you stop dancing or lose your rhythm, the shadows will close in, and you will feel their touch. Reports include scratches on the neck, hot breaths on the shoulder, and sudden, violent pulls that throw people to the ground. When the music ends, you will have only 1 minute to leave the building. Do not waste time searching for your exit, as the building will appear larger and more labyrinthine than when you entered. Many who failed have spoken of hallways stretching endlessly, stairs leading nowhere, and doors appearing where none existed before. If you fail to leave within the minute, you will become trapped, not as an ordinary prisoner. The missing are said to become part of the shadows, doomed to wander the halls, waiting for the next brave soul to dance. If you survive, the sense of victory will be fleeting. Many claim that even after escaping, something follows them, a mark left by the game. But make no mistake, this is only the beginning. The next ritual won't give you time to flee. It will bring you face to face with a danger that watches your every move, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. The Guardian's Test. There is an ancient ritual that promises answers to any question, known as the Guardian's Test. It is not merely a test, it's a dangerous pact, where curiosity might cost more than you're willing to pay. Those who dared to try claim that, while they found the answers they sought, they were never the same afterward. To perform the ritual, you will need a large mirror, a white candle, and a piece of paper on which you must write the 3 most important questions of your life. It doesn't matter what they are, but they must be sincere. The Guardian despises triviality. At 3 a.m., sit in front of the mirror with the lit candle beside you. Look intently at your reflection and say, "Guardian of knowledge, come before me. I am here to meet you." The room will grow unbearably hot for a moment, as if the air is being sucked away. Then the candle will begin to flicker, and you will see something in the reflection. A tall, indistinct figure with a presence so oppressive, it will be difficult to maintain your gaze. This is the Guardian. He will not speak, but you will feel as though you are being scrutinized. Every thought of yours laid bare in that instant. The test begins when you read your first question aloud. The Guardian will answer immediately, but not with words. His response will come in the form of images projected in the mirror, visions so vivid they will feel real. These visions are not always easy to interpret. Some people have reported seeing future events that defied their understanding of reality. But the most frightening part comes afterward. The Guardian will judge whether your question was worthy of his attention. If he deems your questions trivial or selfish, the ritual will take a dangerous turn. The figure in the reflection will become clearer, revealing empty eyes that seem to fixate directly on yours. It is said that at this moment, the Guardian may demand a price. Memories you cannot bear to lose, fragments of your soul, or even years of your life. And if you refuse to pay, he will take something, or someone you love. To end the ritual, you must say, "I am satisfied, Guardian, you may leave." If he accepts, the figure will vanish from the mirror, and the room will return to normal. However, there is one crucial warning. Never ask something you are not prepared to know. Those who asked about their own death or the fate of loved ones almost always left disturbed or disappeared entirely. If you believe you have the courage to stare into the unknown and question it, remember that truth is a burden not everyone can bear. But if this experience already seems terrifying, the next ritual surpasses all limits. It promises not just answers, but something many desire and few survive to tell: the chance to change fate. The Call of the Night Bell. There are stories of bells that must never be rung, for they carry the power to summon what should remain distant. The Call of the Night Bell is one such ritual. Simple in its execution but lethal for the unprepared, it promises to bring forth a presence, a visitor who does not always come in peace. To begin, you will need an old bell. The more worn, the better. The ritual must take place in a forest or completely isolated location. At midnight, walk to the deepest point of the area, ensuring that no one can hear the bell. Tie it to a low-hanging branch, but do not ring it yet. Before activating the ritual, take a deep breath and remember, once it begins, there is no turning back. When the clock strikes 3 o'clock, ring the bell exactly 3 times, with 5-second intervals between each chime. The sound must be firm and clear. As soon as the final chime echoes, the ritual will begin. At first, nothing will seem to change, but as the silence returns, you'll notice the forest around you growing uneasy. The wind will cease, the insects will go quiet, and the only sound remaining will be your own breath. This is the sign that he is coming. The visitor does not reveal himself immediately. You will begin to feel his presence before you see him, a pressure in the air, as though the environment is being compressed. Then, somewhere among the trees, a figure will start to take shape, described as tall and hunched, with disproportionately long limbs. He moves slowly, making no sound except for the rustling leaves under his feet. But the most unsettling feature is his face, or lack thereof. Where human features should be, there is only a smooth grey surface like a wax mask. As he approaches, you must remain completely still. Do not look away, do not run, and above all, do not speak. The legend says the visitor does not attack immediately. He observes, analyzes, as if deciding whether you are worthy of his attention. If he leans in closer, and he always leans in, you will smell something rotten like decaying wood and feel the heat of his breath. This is the moment where many fail, as the urge to flee becomes almost unbearable. The ritual ends at 3:33. If you survive until this time without moving or reacting, the visitor will slowly retreat and vanish into the darkness, taking with him whatever curiosity you have awakened. But beware, if you run or speak, he will follow you. And once he is behind you, no matter how far you go, he will always find a way to return. Few who attempted the call of the night bell can speak of it without trembling. But if you think you can face the forest and a visitor who doesn't belong to this world, the next ritual will be even more terrifying. It promises not just the presence of something, but an entry into a place from which almost no one returns. The hidden door. It is said that some doors should never be opened, paths locked away for reasons long forgotten by time. The ritual known as the hidden door is not just a game, it is an invitation to the unknown, where curiosity can lead to realms that defy reality. Few dare to try, and even fewer return. To begin, you will need a small mirror, a black candle, and white chalk. The ritual must be performed in your own home, but only in a room without windows, as external light could disrupt the process. At 2:00 a.m., draw an outline of a door on a wall using the chalk. Light the candle and place it on the floor directly in front of the drawing. Hold the mirror with both hands, ensuring it reflects the door you've drawn. The next step requires precision. You must stare into the mirror's reflection and say 3 times firmly, "I see you, and I know you see me. Show me the way, and I will follow." On the third command, the candle's flame will flicker and the atmosphere will shift. The air will grow dense, heavy, as if something has crossed an invisible boundary between what is safe and what is not. At that moment, the door in the mirror will begin to form. It is said the door is no illusion. It appears in the reflection as a tangible structure, made of ancient weathered wood, inscribed with symbols you cannot decipher. If you've reached this point, you have 2 choices. You may continue or end the ritual. To exit, simply extinguish the candle and erase the drawing on the wall. But if you choose to proceed, you must touch the door's reflection in the mirror. Upon doing so, something will happen, not to the mirror but to the wall before you. The door will materialize on your wall, emitting a deep, groaning sound like strained wood. This is where accounts diverge. Some say the door leads to an endless corridor, where the silence is so profound it feels as though your thoughts are screaming. Others describe stepping into a space resembling your room but distorted, a darker reflection of reality. The one constant is the presence of something on the other side, a figure, always watching, never fully visible, but unmistakably there. If you decide to cross the threshold, remember, there is a time limit. You must return through the same door before 3:00 a.m. If not, the door will vanish, leaving you trapped. Those who have returned reported unexplainable marks on their bodies, like scratches or bruises, and the eerie sense that something followed them back. Objects move on their own. Whispers emerge in the darkness, and mirrors reflect things that aren't there. The hidden door is not merely a game, it is a test. It measures your curiosity, your courage, and your resilience in the face of fear. But be warned, if you choose to step through, you will never be the same. And if this thought already unsettles you, the next ritual promises to confront you with the most terrifying reflection of all, yourself. The ritual of the Book of St. Cyprian. Few objects carry a weight as dark as the legendary Book of St. Cyprian. Known as the Book of Shadows, it is mentioned in tales of witchcraft and dark magic as a tool capable of revealing forbidden secrets, summoning powerful entities, and granting terrifying powers to those bold enough to wield it. However, those who attempt the ritual described within its pages rarely escape unscathed. Legend has it that to begin the ritual, you must possess a genuine copy of the book, a rarity shrouded in mystery. The ritual must be performed on a moonless night, under complete darkness. You will need a black candle, a piece of charcoal, and a piece of white cloth. At the center of your chosen space, draw a circle on the floor with the charcoal and position yourself inside it holding the book. The candle should be placed outside the circle, near the book, acting as a beacon between you and the unknown. Before starting, there is one unbreakable rule. Do not read from the book aloud until you are fully prepared for what it may bring. To begin, Open the book to a random page and silently read the words before you. The air around you will shift, growing heavy and oppressive, as if the space itself is distorting. You will feel a presence around you, unseen but unmistakable. The ritual's purpose is simple. You may ask a question or request something you deeply desire. However, there is a crucial detail. At the end, the entity you summon will decide whether to grant your request or demand something in return. The answer will not come directly. Many report hearing voices behind them, whispering instructions or answers, while others claim the book itself changes, revealing phrases that weren't there before. The most dangerous part of the ritual is closing it. You must recite the words written at the bottom of the page you opened, without hesitation or error. Any mistake will be seen as weakness, and the entity may refuse to leave. Those who failed at this step report feeling icy hands gripping their shoulders or watching the candle extinguish itself, plunging them into an oppressive darkness. In such cases, the only advice is to flee the circle, abandon the book and never return. For those who successfully end the ritual, the outcomes vary. Some claim to have received what they asked for, but always at an unexpected cost: relentless nightmares, objects moving on their own, or the constant sensation of being watched. Others simply disappear, as if the price paid was their very existence. The Book of St. Cyprian is more than an object. It is a doorway, and opening it is a decision that cannot be undone. If you believe you can bear the weight of the unknown, remember, some pages should never be turned and some questions should never be asked. But if you think this is already terrifying, the next ritual promises to take risk and terror to a level that few can endure. The Guardian's Test. There is an ancient ritual that promises answers to any question. It is known as the Guardian's Test, but the truth is that it is not just a test. It is a dangerous pact where curiosity may cost more than you are willing to pay. Those who have dared report that while they found the answers they sought, they were never the same again. To perform the ritual, you will need a large mirror, a white candle, and a piece of paper on which you must write the 3 most important questions of your life. The nature of the questions does not matter, but they must be sincere. The Guardian despises trivialities. At 3 a.m., sit in front of the mirror with the candle lit beside you. Gaze into your reflection and say, "Guardian of knowledge, come before me. I am here to meet you." The room will become unbearably hot for a few moments, as if the air is being sucked out. Then the candle will begin to flicker, and you will see something in the reflection. A tall, indistinct figure with a presence so oppressive, it will be difficult to maintain eye contact. This is the Guardian. It will not speak, but you will feel as though you are being scrutinized, as if every thought you have is being unraveled in that instant. The test begins when you read your first question aloud. The Guardian will respond immediately, but not with words. Its answer will come in the form of images projected onto the mirror, visions so vivid they will feel real. These visions are not always easy to interpret. Some have reported seeing future events that defied their understanding of reality. But the most frightening part comes afterward. The Guardian will judge whether your question was worthy of its attention. If it considers your questions trivial or selfish, the ritual will take a dangerous turn. The figure in the reflection will become clearer, revealing hollow eyes that seem to pierce directly into yours. It is said that at this point the Guardian may demand a price: memories you treasure, fragments of your soul, or even years of your life. And if you refuse to pay, it will take something or someone you love. To end the ritual, you must say, "I am satisfied, Guardian, you may leave." If it accepts, the figure will vanish from the mirror and the room will return to normal. But there is one crucial warning. Never ask a question you are not prepared to know the answer to. Those who inquired about their own death or the fate of loved ones often left deeply disturbed or never returned at all. If you believe you have the courage to look the unknown in the eye and question it, remember that the truth is a burden not everyone can bear. These games are truly disturbing, don't you think? Now tell me, which one would you dare to play alone? If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more chilling stories and legends that will send shivers down your spine. There's so much more waiting for you. See you there, and watch out for what might be lurking.